Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the instant match reaction. Everton have just done something for the second away game in a row, which is just not very Everton. Everton have gone to Bournemouth and won 1-0 with a late goal that they completely deserved. What is going on in the world that Everton have won 2 games in a row away from home and it's been totally deserved? This is very un-Everton-like. I actually like this version of Everton when they are very un-Everton-like. Because for far too many years, on far too many occasions, Everton have not done this. Nothing would have been more surprising than if Everton had been beaten by a late winner tonight after playing as well as they did for as long as they did in the game. What a great win. What a great win. Obviously, before the game, we find out Michael Keane's got an injury. James Garner's got to go to right back, which, to be honest, that's a back four I can get behind. I don't mind that back four whatsoever. James Garner is a decent right back, and Brien is a decent centre back. I was quite happy with the back four, but obviously it left us a little bit light in midfield. Tim coming back into the game for this game, obviously, well, continuing. Alcaraz coming into the team, and obviously Keane Dewsbury Hall, probably a slight change of position. And obviously that leaves you worrying. That leaves you thinking, oh, little bit worried, obviously, with the changes. Obviously, Bournemouth had changes as well. But it worked. I mean, it worked, didn't it, for the most part? I mean, well, for the all part, because we got the 3 points. I was a little bit worried about the subs more than anything. I was more worried about, like, say, after an hour, them making subs and us not really being able to make subs. But we started well. We started well. We made sure we didn't concede after 55 seconds, which I think is wonderful. And then we just grew into the game. We just just sort of started just having a little bit of an impact on the game, just making sure they weren't having too many chances. And then, incredibly, what we did was we had 3. Was it 2 or 3? I think it was 3 really, really good corners that James Garner nearly scored off all 3 of them. Great balls in, sort of doing exactly what teams have been doing to us. Very unlucky with all 3 of them. And I think we just grew in confidence. And the irony is, this was without really the front 3 being particularly good, if we're all going to be honest about it. Jai had a bit of an off night. Jack Grealish was running down, cul-de-sacs. And Barry, his link-up play was quite good, but he's nowhere to be seen in front of goal. Obviously, in the second half, he did get an opportunity, and I think that'll probably go down as his first shot on target, but the keeper makes a save. And then his second one, which again was brilliant work by James Garner, he puts it high and wide, sadly. So it was one of them. It was like we were doing all the right things, defending really well. As I said, I thought James Garner was doing well. Brien did well. Toffee, for what he needed to do, did well. I mean, it would have been so Everton if they had scored that goal at the stroke of half-time, literally on the 47th minute with 2 added minutes. It would have literally been Everton. Luckily, he was offside. The lad flicked it on and he was offside. But it was a decent first half. It was just like, keep it like this. We're doing all right. We're not doing anything stupid. For the most part, we're fine. Carlos Alcaraz needs to learn how to pass. That's one thing I would say. Some of his passes is poor, really, at times. It's like that final ball to get you up the pitch, and he plays it short, and the next minute you're being counter-attacked. That's something he has to work on massively, even though we didn't see loads of him. Or haven't seen loads of him. And then second half, again, we came out and we nullified them. We kept them quite quiet. They didn't have too many opportunities. They'd had one. They had one in the first half where Jordan Pickford had to make a save. We didn't react from a free kick, and it dropped, and Jordan made a good save. Second half, we just kept at it, and it felt like a bit of a basketball game, which was slightly worrying, because I thought if anyone was going to get something off that, it was probably going to be them, just because we aren't sort of, that's not us, or hasn't been us. But what was great about it was there was a real belief. Suppose you have those games where you feel like we can get something here, and the players were obviously feeling that as well. We were dominating the ball. We were getting into some really good areas. As I said, the chance that was fashioned for Barry's chance, the first one was made between Dewsbury Hall driving forward, a little bit of luck. Carlos Alcaraz puts it in his path. His touch is too heavy, takes it away, and then he tries to stab it over the goalkeeper. It gives the goalkeeper a chance. And then, as I said, the second one, James Garner and Illiman and Jai on the right had done really well and Garner does really well because he doesn't just throw a cross in. He actually picks out Barry, and Barry just puts it over. And listen, there's a lot of chat about Barry. I'm seeing bits in the comments right now. The lad, in terms of his all-round play, is improving. He's improving a lot. He is improving a lot. The front three, as a front three tonight, they have to... I don't know what they do on the training pitch, but they have to start fashioning out more chances. They seem to be like three individuals just doing their own things. And I understand that with Grealish and Njai, because they basically are individual footballers. But if you're going to work with a striker, you've got to work out what that striker wants. What's that striker all about? Where's that striker going to run? Where does that striker want the ball? Because at the end of the day, ultimately, he's the most important player. He's the player who's going to put the ball in the back of the net, we hope. So you have to fashion chances for him. And we're just not doing that at the moment. And Barry's build-up play is good. It's all right. It's a lot better than Beto. I think you saw that when Beto come on. Apart from the one he done all right with. Barry is starting to he's starting to relax. He's starting to do the things we asked him to do. Win the ball, keep hold of the ball, run with the ball. It's just that final bit. Now, I'm not sitting here going, that's definitely going to happen. Strikers will always be judged on goals. And that's what I'm saying. Those front three have to work harder to come up with, to become a proper front three. Of course, Njai's going to be going away soon, but that's got to work harder to become a proper front three. But just when the moment was this thinking, not that this game's getting away from us, but not even though if it's now or never. Obviously, Jack Grealish picks the ball up, cuts inside, and this is what I think we've all been saying, isn't it? This is literally what we've all been saying. If you take a shot, anything could happen. If you have a shot, anything can happen. He slips, it gets deflection, and it goes in. It says Jack Grealish, and it's the winning goal, and that's all that matters. Nothing else matters, because the lad has picked the ball up and took his chance, and that's it. That's all that matters. Everton win 1-0. Everton end up winning the game 1-0. And it's all because Jack Grealish has a shot and scores. And nothing else matters. Doesn't matter how it goes in. Doesn't matter what deflection. Doesn't matter. It went in. And we win the game. And that's all that matters at the end of it. So we've all been saying, Jack, just shoot more. As I said in the last couple of days, I've heard people have said this before on the live. People having a go at Jack Grealish for, I don't know what, for not being perfect. And tonight he didn't have a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination. But once we got one up, actually, he went up massively once we went up, keeping the ball, putting it into good areas. And we were quite comfortable. There was like one moment where the lads put it across the box. I think we dealt with it. They didn't really scare us after that. And it was a brilliant all-round performance. You know, One person I will say tonight is Timmy Boonham had a really, really good game. Considering what happened to him on Saturday, considering that he would have been out the team tonight, let's be honest, if Michael Keane was fit, considering how early he got booked in the game, I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was properly composed, and it was a really, really, like, I suppose it encapsulated Everton from Saturday. Him and Everton were absolutely dire on Saturday, and then tonight they've both rolled up their sleeves and they've both put in really good professional performances. Tim was excellent tonight, and the only thing is, he's out on Saturday now. And I don't know what we do unless we bring back, unless Michael Keane can play. But he was excellent tonight. And it's just a real shame that we haven't got another midfielder, because the back four, James Garner is a right back. I'd have him at right back till we buy a right back. He is so composed. He is patient. He's got quality. He doesn't just boot it away. He didn't get himself booked again tonight, so that shows that he's got a brain. And it was an excellent performance by him. Jake, I think, Jake will have tougher days, but I thought, again, it's not like you almost feel sometimes people with Jake O'Brien, it's like he's going to go in at centre-back and be absolutely dreadful. And he's like, no, he's not. This lad plays international football. This lad's played European football. This lad's not a kid, by the way, either. He's not a kid. He's not like some 21-year-old. He's played enough football. And he done really well. And as a team, we were excellent. The player, for me, man of the match by a mile, was Kieran Dewsbury-Hall. And I think he just, tonight, that was a proper midfield display, like a proper all-round midfield display. Being deeper, having more responsibility, knowing that he's got to pick the ball up and he's got to break the tackles up. And he did that all that tonight. He broke the play up brilliantly, but in possession, he was so clever. He was really unlucky towards the end when we were 1-0 up. Jack put him in. Again, really good patient play by Jack. He stood on the edge of the box. The keeper makes a decent save. I honestly thought it was going in for a 2-0. I thought that was going to cap off the night brilliantly. But in the last 3 or 4 games, Dewsbury Hall's level, for me, has really gone up. It's really gone up to the next level since the international break. So since the Fulham game, before the international break, his level has really gone up. He's really got hold of that midfield. Like, he's the number one man in our midfield now. Like, he's responsible for that entire midfield. And he was brilliant tonight. He was absolutely brilliant tonight, Dewsbury Hall. It was a superb performance by him. And yeah, just 3 wins in the last 4. It's weird, isn't it? Because it's just like, there's so much doom and gloom coming off the back of the Newcastle game, but when you this is literally Everton right now, isn't it? It's like, no, I don't know how many people fancied us tonight. I mean, the away fans probably did fancy us, and they were brilliant, and you could hear every single one of them. They were noisy as hell. They made the atmosphere, because apart from that, the place was absolutely dead. And you could, so I don't know. It just felt like it was just that game of like, oh, here we go again. But this time last year, we beat Wolves 4-0 at home. And it was like, I think there was almost like that going into that game as well. But tonight we properly rolled our sleeves up. And the manager made subs. And again, reading nonsense in the comments. I can see you talking about Diblin. That wasn't a game for Diblin to come on in tonight. That was a game for experienced players. That was a game for Dwight McNeil to come in, who understands, because he's played in crap teams, how to try and see out the last 10 minutes of a game. It wasn't a game for Diblin. Those games will come. I really wish people would stop writing like young players off just because they're not playing. It's not the worst thing in the world that Tyler Diblin's not playing. We've got two good wide men, and the manager trusts them. Late on in the game tonight, very much like at Old Trafford, you need those wide men who are clever on the ball to keep the ball for you and not give it away cheaply. And the manager, I've said this loads of times, the manager is all about trust. He trusts his players, certain players. And he obviously Tyler Diblin is just a player on the edges who we are, listen, hopefully he'll get more game time when Njai goes on international duty. But if he doesn't, he doesn't. He's 19 years of age. I think this idea that he's, because he hasn't played some games, people really need to get off, young people's backs. And what difference does it make? That Everton team have gone there tonight and won 1-0. It shouldn't matter who comes off the bench and who doesn't come off the bench. It's whoever the manager decides, and we'll question the manager on those decisions based on the results in the whole. We've got the 3 points. Those players got the 3 points. On Saturday, if we don't have players back, then if we don't have those players back on Saturday, then Tyler Diblin might get a chance. He might put him right, and he might put Njai in the centre as a number 10. I don't know. Who knows? But you've just got to trust the manager at the end of the day. You've just got to go with him and say, this is where we are. We've picked up more points. And if he doesn't think Tyler Diblin's ready, then he doesn't think Tyler Diblin's ready. That's fine. That's fine. Absolutely fine. But we've picked up the 3 points, and that is very much all that matters tonight. A place that we've never won in the Premier League. That's 2 places in the last 2 away games that we don't win games, and we have won both of them. So again, like I said after the Man United game, that's another one ticked off. So, and again, it doesn't matter what we paid for Tyler Diblin. What we paid for is longevity. What we paid for is a player who is young, who is a young player that next year could be his year where he's absolutely amazing. People just need to calm down on that, because it's just, honestly, sometimes I just don't think, you've just got to get players in and you've got to give them a chance, see what they've got. And if they're not ready, they're not ready, but they will get ready. Dead simple. Dead simple. And it's the same with Barry. Barry's needs a goal, but the only way he's going to get a goal is by playing. And he's playing better than Beto has played in his all-round play. And we've won games with him in the team as well. So we just keep going, don't we? And we've got a tough game on Saturday, but it's a game now we can go into with, again, a bit more confidence of what we've done tonight. And we have to make sure what happened on Saturday doesn't happen at Hill Dickinson on this Saturday. And if we can get a win out of Saturday, then we'll be looking really, really good for where we want to be going into the second half of the season. Yeah, we've got tough games. Of course, they're all tough games. But teams will look at us and go, well, actually, these are doing all right. And these have picked up 3 clean sheets in their last 4 games. And they've won 3 of those games. And that starts with Forest. If we can get a win against Forest, then we are going to be in that middle of the table. That we're going to be in the middle of the table. I think we're in the top half of the table now, but obviously there's more games to be played. And then hopefully in January we go out and we buy more players, because obviously the squad is short. The squad is really, really stretched at the moment. And again, that's massive credit to the players who played tonight, that played on Saturday, that we are stretched and we are struggling. And that's why Saturday becomes a bigger test, is because most of those players will all play again. Imagine it'll just be all days off now till Saturday, just pure recovery. But if we win on Saturday, then we'd be on 24 points, and that would be a fantastic return after 15 games. It really would. That would be a fantastic return after 15 games. And then, tougher games. The tougher games come then, but the pressure isn't necessarily on us to go and have to get something out of those games. The pressure's on Chelsea and the pressure's on Arsenal because they need to win those games Arsenal need to win to stay. Man City have won tonight. They were only 5-1 up. But they've won tonight, so they're putting pressure on Arsenal, and they will continue to put pressure on Arsenal. And by the time Chelsea need to put pressure on Arsenal, so those games, the pressure will be off us, hopefully, with a victory on Saturday. But I think the season is going to be a bit like this, isn't it? There's going to be highs and there's going to be lows. Of course there are. And you just, after Saturday, you just feel it felt really low. But, thankfully, we've played tonight, got a win, and everyone's back on it, aren't they? Everyone's happy again. Everyone's buzzing now. Everyone will be buzzing for Saturday to get back into the ground, and then, looking forward to a home game against Sean Dyche. Everyone's buzzing for it now. So let's enjoy tonight. I'm sure all those Toffees coming home from Bournemouth will absolutely be enjoying this. A Tuesday night trip to Bournemouth, where finally all those people who've been going there for all the years they've been in the Premier League have finally seen Everton get a win. So it's absolutely about the positives tonight. Just got to keep it up on Saturday. Need big performances again from the players who did it tonight for us. So obviously Tim won't be available, which is unfortunate. But we cope tonight. We are getting to the bare bones. Maybe Michael Keane was left out tonight because he will be back on Saturday. I mean, I don't think that solves this. That doesn't really solve it. He might put, who knows? He might put Nathan Patterson in at right back on Saturday. And put James Garner back in midfield. He might do that. Who knows? Who knows how he might look at it and think that's probably the best solution, especially if Keane has got an injury where it's like touch and go. And if Keane was carrying that injury on Saturday, then that might explain quite a lot. So maybe Nathan Patterson starts right back on Saturday and James Garner goes back into midfield. And that might be the best solution if Nathan Patterson is fit to start the game, obviously. Or he might put Keane on the bench as well. And he might look at it and go, put Keane on the bench, put Patterson at right back, and then at some part of the game, put Jake back at right back and put Michael Keane back at centre-back. If he doesn't think Nathan Patterson's got a full game in him, which I imagine he probably hasn't. So we'll wait and see. But yeah. Maybe. And we just have to get through this month as best we can, don't we? We have to get through this month without, obviously, Idrissa, without Njai. The injuries to Mail and Roll, Tim's suspension on Saturday. James Garner will get a suspension at some point. No Branthwaite. We just have to get through, roll our sleeves up and get through this spell. 5 games left this month, and then hopefully next month we do genuinely go and try and buy some players. Because we have to, really. Because if anything about the league table, what the league table says right now is Everton have a chance of finishing top half. Now, if you finish top half, then you start thinking to yourself, well, hang on. If we finish top half, then maybe we could get Europe. I'm not saying we're good enough to get Europe, by the way. I've just watched us get beat by Newcastle on Saturday. But what I mean by that is, what was it last season? 9th, was it? All it takes is one of the teams in the Europa League to win it. One of the, England to get the 5th place again, and you've suddenly got a couple of extra places. So we'll wait and see. But Everton have got to push on. Sorry, I could hear all kinds of shouting downstairs, and I imagine it's because Spurs had just equalised and kept us in 9th place. See, that's what's mad. Newcastle battered us and they're still below us. How mad's that? How mad is that? Why is my app saying that it's 2-0? No, it's saying it's 2-2. Wow. Anyway. No, we've got to get players in next month. We've got to get a right back in. Got to get a centre forward in for me. Got to get someone in to help. To help Barry up front. And if we win on Saturday, we might start looking like we're clinging on to that top 10. Like we're just around the top 10. And as I said, if we're around top 10, then who knows? As I said, I'm not saying we're good enough to get Europe by any means. But wouldn't it be nice to have a little run at the end of the season where you're just trying to get Europe at least? Wouldn't that be a lovely experience for everyone? If the owner says, you know what, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm putting the money where my mouth is. Second half of the season, we're having a go. We're gonna try and finish as high as we can. The ground's gonna be full. People are gonna be happy. They're gonna be excited about the game. No one's leaving. Everyone's wearing shorts. Everyone's spending money. Surely that's what we want, isn't it? That's what we want in the second half of the season. We want everyone going the match happy and relaxed, looking forward to watching Everton play at Hill Dickinson. And if we buy players and they're good quality players, then that's what could happen. So a right back and a striker, massively important. Massively important for me. We need goals. You're absolutely right, Callum. We need goals. We absolutely need goals. Again, tonight, we looked toothless at times. We have to find ways of scoring goals easier. So, yeah. Also, yeah, that's a really good point. I forgot to say. That kit looked good, didn't it? That's the first time we've worn it in the Premier League, haven't we? That kit looked good. That's on a few people's Christmas lists now, I think. I think the last time we wore that was in America. What game was it? Was it West Ham? We wore that kit against West Ham in America, yeah. I think that's the first time we've wore December and we're wearing our away kit in December. That's the first time. That's mad. We've wore the black one twice, haven't we? But the kit did look boss. So, but you know what? Great win. 3 points. Let's back it up on Saturday. That's the most important thing. Let's go into the game Saturday, and Everton have got to be clever. Fans have got to drive the team on. You know, no one should go in the game on Saturday thinking this is we're definitely going to win that. 100% got to be clever about Saturday. It's going to be a difficult game. You know what? We know what dice teams are like. So we've got to be clever on Saturday. So anyway, listen, get to enjoy the next few days. This is the life of being an Evertonian. It's up and down and up and down and up and down. But I do expect lots of shirts with Grealish 18 on the back will be getting sold in the next couple of weeks, that shirt, because loads of people will be wanting it. So there you go. Right, I will be back shortly to do my player ratings. Thank you for watching. Thank you to all the people who are watching now. Lots of you are watching now. Makes me feel like I don't even want to go because so many of you are watching. Yeah. Stick around. I'll be back. I will be back very, very shortly to do my player ratings. Thanks for watching. See you in a bit.